Hey everybody, it's your friend and your guy and your favorite mustache that needs to go, Gardiner. Back in 2010, the Humble Indie Bundle launched with a few incredible games. Each title in the collection had Linux, Mac, and Windows support. They were all DRM free, and buying the bundles supported charity as well as the game developers. It was a win-win-win, the hat trick of gaming. The first bundle included World of Goo, Samaras 2, Aquaria, and others. Later that year, the second indie bundle launched with Braid, Machinarium, and more. Over the next few years, indie bundles became the basis of my Steam library. VVVV, And Yet It Moves, Crayon Physics Deluxe, all of them made excellent additions to my library of games for Linux. And then the Humble Indie Bundle 4 hit in December of 2011. You get to pay what you wanted for Bit Trip Runner, Shank, Cave Story Plus, and Super Meat Boy, among many other games. And it really did stand out among the other deals in gaming. I've played so much of these games, and I still treasure them to this day. I loved the indie bundles and look back upon them as a golden age, not just of Linux gaming, but of gaming in general. It's hard to believe that that was over a decade ago, and it honestly feels like yesterday to me. I really don't think that I would have started this channel if it weren't for the indie bundles getting me into Linux gaming in a meaningful way. Slowly over time, the Humble Indie Bundles started to dry up, as the Humble company started moving away from the indie bundles. Back in 2017, Humble was acquired by IGN. Now, I was worried at the time what this would mean for the future of the company, but if I'm being quite honest, by that point, my interest in Humble's offerings, which had diversified and therefore diluted its original vision, was not particularly appealing to me. However, even with my interest in Humble significantly waning, its acquisition by IGN meant that the days of Linux gaming on Humble were numbered, and it seems that that number is exactly 1,572 days. Because Humble, the company that piqued my interest in honest-to-goodness Linux gaming way back in 2010, has officially betrayed Linux and Mac users. So, what actually is happening? Well, Humble Choice, their monthly subscription service which offers many Windows, Mac, and Linux DRM-free versions of games, is moving away from the web-first interface to a new Windows-only client, and therefore ditching Linux and Mac support. This is troublesome for many reasons, not the least of which is that PC gamers already deal with far too many launchers. People complain about fragmentation in the Linux desktop, but Windows gamers basically have a launcher for every major publisher, plus multiple independent storefronts and apps like Discord, all of them wanting to start at boot, live persistently in memory, and thrash your I/O. But it's worse than that too, because the incoming disaster that is Windows 11 will be pushing even more people to the Linux camp, and many of those folks will be gamers. But even more troublesome is the fact that IGN, the outlet that broke the news about the Steam Deck, can't read the room when it comes to the direction PC gaming is headed. Linux is the future. The Steam Deck and all future hardware from Valve will be running SteamOS. The fact that IGN can't see that is just tremendously baffling to me. So what's the point of abandoning Linux and Mac users? I mean, the Mac I kind of get. It's heading off in its own direction with custom Apple Silicon. So that kind of makes sense. But Linux is the future of the PC, and they can't see it. According to the Humble blog post, they're, quote, leveling up Humble Choice by creating this launcher. But what is this launcher? It's basically screwing over their already paying customer base. This launcher basically forces paying customers to fundamentally change how they access the service that they have been paying customers to, presumably for years at this point. If they want to continue using this service, they'll need to install yet another launcher onto their system. And I think most PC gamers are kind of fed up with this by now. What's more, currently there are 78 games in the Humble Choice Trove. According to the announcement, there will be more than 50 games. And I've seen reports that some 20 games will be removed from the Trove during this transition. Look, I am incredibly salty about this because Humble used to be a company I respected. That hasn't been for a long time, but it's still hard to see something that I used to respect so much fall so far. In 2010, they were this mighty and heroic figure, yet in 2022, they've lost that integrity. So much of what I respected about them is just gone at this point. And it sucks because I really loved the Humble Indie Bundles. But hey, That's just my takeaway. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about Humble forcing their users to download yet another Windows-only launcher? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, and you can also subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all the cool stuff that we're doing here on the channel. I want to give a special shout out to my friends on Patreon and my YouTube members, without whom I would not be able to do this. So thank you guys. If you believe in the work that I do and you want to help this show grow, consider pledging your monthly support with the links below. Together with the 130 other people who've already joined me on the Linux warpath, we can make something special continue. It's because of your support that we've been able to make this show into what it is, so thanks. I think that's going to do it for now though. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time.